Good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing career college exposition webinar series. My name is Bob Martin and I'm with the Imagine America Foundation. Joining me today on today's session of Imagine America Radio is my foundation colleague, Lee Doubleday. Lee and I are extremely excited about today's topic, the overlooked value of technical school certificates, sponsored by Universal Technical Institutes, or UTI. UTI is this country's leading provider of high-quality, career-focused education at 15 locations nationwide. UTI is also a 21-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admission-based financial aid to more than 16,000 enrolling Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation to our website, www.imagine-america.org.
Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country, desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation again is Universal Technical Institute, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with an extensive K-12 background. But before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of the presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A or the chat feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 2:30, we will then present all of the questions offered by the participants. We'll have a hard close in 30 minutes. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Bob and Lee, and thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with me. I'm excited to get to visit with you, and so let's just go ahead and get started right now with the presentation. I wanted to just spend a couple of minutes talking about UTI, just give you a little bit of background. We are the leading provider of technicians in the transportation industry. We have now 16 campuses. I love saying that. We've had 12 campuses for a long time, and we've added 2 campuses, Austin and out in Western Texas, and then we're down in Miramar, which is near Miami. We're opening 2 campuses there. And then we have acquired an MIAT, which is Michigan Institute of Aeronautic Technology, and they are in Michigan and also near Houston. So I'm loving, I can say 16 campuses now. But my whole point here is the nationwide training is huge for our students, because it gives our students flexibility when it comes time to being hired. You'd be hard pressed to walk into a dealership and say UTI and they wouldn't know who we are. So this gives our students a huge advantage in getting hired into the industry by having that nationwide presence. Well, I can't say this much longer. We offer 8 STEM careers, but actually we're upping that a little bit now with the acquisition of MIAT, but our basic ones are auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, and welding. However, we are going to be getting into aviation, wind and solar power, robotics, HVAC. So we're really excited about the other areas that we're going to get into. But what I like to point out here is that although you see 8 areas there, plus the others that I just named to you, but what you don't see are the hundreds of careers that are available within this screen. For instance, have a student that says, hey, I love cars. I love being around cars, but I really don't see myself turning wrenches or anything. Is there anything I could do? The insurance business would love to have you, because they would love to have certified technicians as their claims adjusters. You hit a deer, yeah, all the dents and dings on the outside, that's pretty easy to see. But what you don't see are all the sensors and computer components that are damaged. Like I was telling the counselors in Texas yesterday, you can't hit a raccoon or a possum for under $2,500 today. It's just, with all the technology that's on these vehicles, it's you know, we need the technicians to work on it, but we also, you know, like a claims adjuster, you could be a service writer as well. So there's lots of areas that you could go into besides just actually turning a wrench. 35 plus industry relationships. These are important because this is who we're training for. We're not preparing students for Jiffy Lube. We're preparing students to go to work for BMW, for Ford, Lexus, Honda, Suzuki, all these companies. These are the major players in the industry. And of course, we have hundreds of other industry partners too. But this is who's going to hire our students. And this is important because these are strong, stable companies. They not only bring credibility to us, but they help us in that training aspect, getting the students ready to go to work for them. And they pay well, they offer great benefits. So that's a very important part. And I'll talk about that more a little bit later in the presentation too. But here is why I'm really here today, to talk to you about to talk to you about the industry, to talk to you about your relationship with your parents and with students. And we're going to start off with, to succeed in the modern economy, students need skills. What kind of skills? Well, sometimes we'll say, well, they need hard skills, like working on a car or a truck or a motorcycle or plumbing or welding, whatever the case may be. But what we discount sometimes are the soft skills, the general education application skills. What's called those the gen eds, I guess you might say. But they need communication skills. They need writing skills. What we call people skills. Where has customer service gone these days? We go someplace and it's just not there any longer. So both of these are very important. That's one thing we do at UTI is we really strive to work on both sides of this, so that when you have someone that is fixing somebody's car, they can go talk to the customer and say, hey, here's what I found. Here's what's wrong. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it. Here's how much it's going to cost. You need some people skills there, because you're probably going to get a little sticker shock when they hear how much it's going to cost. But, that's important that you put those two together. Students need both the hard skills and the soft skills. Here's a statistic that might surprise you. 94% of all certificates and almost 3 out of 5 associate degrees are being awarded in career-oriented fields. Might surprise you. You might think that your students are going off to college to get a bachelor's degree. They're going off to school to get this bachelor's, a master's degree, all these advanced degrees, when in reality, they're not. They're getting competency-based credentials. They're getting skills. The other thing you have to remember about these kids today, and you know this as well as I do, they're very much in the present now people. They're not patient. That's why they don't email. That's why they love to text. They love to Snapchat. They love to Instagram, because it's instant right there, right now. That's what they love. And so many of your students, they're just not willing to spend 4, 5, 6 years in school. They just can't do it. I always get tickled when kids come to my booth all the time and ask what you want to be. And the standard answer seems like is engineer, but they really don't have a clue how to become an engineer, what that's going to entail, and the amount of classwork that they're going to spend there. So anyway, just a surprising statistic. And along the same lines, almost 50% of students taking undergraduate coursework are enrolled in certificate and associate degree programs. Once again, you may think that they're there to get a bachelor's degree. That's what they went off to college. They're going to be there, several years getting this done. In reality, no, they're just not. They want skills. They want to get in, get out, and get employed. They're anxious to get out there and start making money, get on their own. And with their patience level, which is almost none, they're looking for quick fixes, quick ways that they can get into the industry and do what they want to do. Now, when you're looking at technical certificate programs, I want you to look for 3 things. Number 1, look for the industry relationships. That's what I just showed you a little bit ago. Number 2, look for occupationally focused curriculum. And number 3, look for employment assistance. Let me go back. Industry relationships, like what I just showed you earlier, that's huge, because that's who the students are going to go to work for. And this enhances their ability to get a job because of those industry relationships. We do that a lot. And I would challenge you as counselors to be doing that as yourself. You should be getting industry involved in your schools too. They want to work with you. They're willing to, and they've got the finances to do it. So you need to tap into that. But those industry relationships are huge. Then occupationally focused curriculum. What are dealerships, what are companies looking for? They're looking for skills. What do you bring to the table? What can you do that's going to enhance their dealership, their company, whatever it is? That's what they're looking for. Occupationally focused curriculum. And remember, your kids that are interested in these type of things, that's the kind of curriculum they're looking for anyway. They're not into 20th century world literature. They're not into Greek mythology. They're into what they love to do. And so they want that occupationally focused curriculum. And then finally, employment assistance. Why are they going to school in the first place? This is the reason to get into the career that they wanted, that they chose. That's why they're going to school. And so the employment assistance at UTI, we feel like we're not done until we get them employed in their chosen area. That's important. You also have to remember these three go hand in hand with each other. You're not going to have good employment assistance if you don't have those good industry relationships. And to have those good industry relationships, you better be offering a curriculum that's going to enhance them wanting to hire those students. So all three of these work with each other. But when you're looking at technical certificate programs, you have to see if they offer all three of these. If they don't, that's a huge miss. I'm going to change gears right now and talk about something that we are really excited about. And that is our partnership with Ignite Worldwide. Ignite is an acronym, Inspiring Girls Now in the Technology Evolution. I love this program because what they're doing is they're exposing girls to STEM trades in an area that seems like it's always been male dominated. We're trying to open up doors so that girls feel like that they can become part of this too. Here at UTI, about 4% of our student population is female, and we want to change that. We want to get more girls involved. The girls that we do get are very focused. They work hard. They do well. We just want more of them. We want to get more into the industry. We need to close this skills gap. And here's an untapped market, the female population, that we've got to get them involved in this. I love their mantra. You can't be what you can't see. Think about that for a minute. How many of you out there can tell me that you've seen, when's the last time you saw a female welder, a female carpenter, a female auto or diesel tech? Female, they're not there. Or when you do find them, it's like a novelty. Oh, look, they've got a girl working for them. Isn't that special? It's just, it shouldn't be that way. We've got to get more involved. And so Kathy Rojveller is the CEO and founder of Ignite Worldwide. And so we got to meet with her and talk with her. And Jerry Elner and I, my colleague, we spent a lot of time with her and learning more about this program and decided, we want to be on board with this. We've already hosted some events at our campuses. We've got one coming up November 17th in Sacramento. So we're really excited about what we can do here with this program. The program is really pretty simple. The first thing we do is we bring girls to our campuses. We haven't had an event yet that that's always over 100 girls every time we've had an event. And so the first thing we do is we form a panel, women in STEM, women who've been successful in STEM careers. So these girls can ask them questions. Hey, how did you get there? What obstacles did you have to overcome? Did people make fun of you when you did that? Well, what advice would you give me? So that's what this is for. The second part, field trips. You should be doing this with all your students, but especially with the girls, to show them what's out there. Take them to, we bring them to our school so they can see a true STEM school in action. But then we also want them to come to the dealership so they can see how a dealership works. These other places where they might get employed. Then the third part is workshops. How do the girls know if they're going to like something? They've never done it before. So we want to expose them to that. We have like welding simulators so the girls can weld. I've even done this with school counselors where I bring them in and have them do these kind of activities. I love doing that, and the counselors love it too. It's a great opportunity, a great experience. So we want the girls to experience this too. They don't know what they don't know. We want to show them what this is like to see if that might pique their interest. And then the fourth part is conferences. We have girls from the regions come in, get in breakout sessions where they're with other girls like them. So they don't feel like they're all alone. Like, gosh, am I weird because I want to be a welder? No, you're not. And you've got other friends that want to do the same thing too. And they've gained national attention through the National Science Foundation, through the Anita Borg Social Impact Award, the Department of Education. So it's definitely gaining traction. And so we are very excited to partner with them. One of the statistics that really caught our eye is this one. In 2013, in the Seattle schools where Kathy started this, there were less than 5% of the girls involved in STEM classes or STEM activities, STEM events, less than 5%. In 3 years, that number jumped to over 50%. It's amazing, but it's not. Because once you expose girls to this and show them what's out there, they get excited. They go, wow, I just didn't think that girls could do this. And I found out we can. So it's really an exciting opportunity. And so we're hoping that we can increase that even more with our partnership with them as well. We love to offer resources to help students to reach their goals and their dreams. We work with student groups like FFA, Hot Rodders of Tomorrow, Skills USA, Top Tech Challenge, and others. We offer competition scholarships. We offer grants to help students to make their education more affordable. And then we pair up with foundations like Imagine America. I love working with Imagine America. We've been with them for over 20 years. And the scholarship redemption is amazing. And many counselors, that's why I always try to spread the word whenever I do counselor presentations at various states. I was just in Texas. I'm going to Indiana tomorrow to speak to their group. And I always talk about Imagine America scholarships. Many of them don't even know they exist. So please take advantage of that. It can really help your students to make their education more feasible. And then we love partnering with industry. Our most recent partner is AGCO. Fendt Tractors. We're so excited to be part of this group. In fact, 2 weeks ago, we were at FFA in Indianapolis, had a huge booth there. And I mean, the kids were all over us with this. They loved it. But what the kids got to see was industry and education working together. That's what this is really all about. Showing students, okay, get your education so you can work for a company like this. If you want to work for a company like this, then get this education. They just go hand in hand with each other. So we love our partnership with them, as well as many of our other industry partners too. We always try to work with them any way possible. That's why we love to go into dealerships, so we can show not only students, but their parents what dealerships are like now. They're so much different than what they were in the past. It used to be you went to a dealership and get a bottle of water. Now you get a glass of champagne. It's a whole different ballgame today than what it's been in the past. We offer over $15 million in scholarships and grants. We're very proud of that. But if there's anybody on this webinar today that can give me any help on how to get kids to fill out scholarships, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you, because as you well know, kids for some reason are reluctant to fill out scholarship applications. Not all, but some of them are. But what we love is our tuition reimbursement incentive program, our TRIP program. What has happened now, these dealerships, these companies, they need technicians so bad, they're willing to do extra to get them. They have to make themselves stand out. So they offer these trip packages, anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 in compensation. They offer student loan repayment assistance. They offer hiring incentive packages. They offer tool purchase assistance, to sign-on bonuses, boot allowances. I mean, all these things, trying to make themselves stand out to the students so they will select their dealership over another one. They work. I mean, our graduation rate keeps climbing, and we're very proud of that, but it gives kids a goal. It gives them something to work for, a light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. And this seems to really work, and we're very proud of it. Now, I wish I could say every student gets this, but they don't. You've got to stand out as well. You've got to come to school every day. You've got to work hard while you're in school. Show that work ethic, because BMW isn't going to hire you if you're going to skip school all the time, because then they're thinking you're going to skip work all the time too. So they have to work to get this, but the rewards are great for those that are willing to put in the time and effort to make this happen. Two key takeaways today. Number one, high school counselors and educators can strengthen all post-secondary education pathways, including certificate programs. In other words, these are not Plan B any longer. They are not the backup plan. Well, if being a veterinarian doesn't work out, you can always work on cars. Gosh, anybody can do that. You kidding me? I mean, you want to scare yourself to death? Open up the hood of a new Volvo. It takes highly trained technicians to do this, to work on these things. And so we've got to stop making these kids feel like they're second rate because they chose a career pathway where they're just going to get competency-based credentials as opposed to someone that's going to get a bachelor's degree. They're equal. Another hint I would give you too is, how are you labeling this? Okay, do you still call them college fairs? Or do you call them career fairs? If you're still calling them college fairs, don't. I'm not against college, but when you say college, they're going to think of Arizona State. They're not going to think of a UTI. They're not going to think of a cosmetology school or a trade school of some kind. They're not going to think about that. So they feel left out. So make sure you're celebrating the successes of all of your students. And then the second takeaway, higher education leaders are instrumental in enabling students to acquire an education beyond high school. Kids need skills. Yeah, some students are going to go right to work after high school. There's nothing wrong with that. Many of them are going to be successful. But you have to remember, what are employers looking for? Skills. And skills means getting training. The mentorship programs, the internship programs, I know they can be good, but they're only as good as the mentor. If you get a bad mentor, the student is not going to learn anything. And so they're just left out there, left out to high and dry. So it's important that we emphasize that students need training of some kind, encourage them to get that training because it's going to make them more marketable to that employer. I'm a retired educator. I know exactly what you guys do. Now, I've never had to go through a pandemic like you have, but I have a really good idea what you do. You guys do a great job. I know you're talking to students about the economy and job demand. I know you're talking to them about career readiness and career pathways. I know you're talking to them about scholarship possibilities and FAFSAs and all those kind of things. All we want to do is partner with you. We want to work with you. That's our goal. We just love to work with school counselors to give another voice to what you're already doing. We love to host students at our open houses. We're going to be having one there at the campus on this coming Saturday. So we would invite you to come out and visit. Bring parents, bring grandpa and grandpa, anybody you want to bring, come out and you can see what it's like at our school. But the other thing, we can come to you. We have a truck and trailer, so we can do STEM activities. We can come out and do workshops, career readiness, career pathways, STEM. We want to do these things. We want to show your students what's out there, and all your students. Many times counselors will think, well, just the interested only. No, we want to speak to all the students because this workshop can benefit students that are going to go to Arizona State, just as well as ones that are going to come to UTI or another type of post-secondary school. So it's a great workshop. We're going to share our scholarship opportunities and our grant opportunities for them as well. But we just want to partner with you. I do professional development for school districts. So if you ever have a need for that, I used to have to plan those myself and it can be a pain. So I would love to do that. We don't charge anything for those. So I'd be glad to work with your school district any way I possibly can. And then finally, here's my contact information. My email address. You got my phone number earlier in the presentation. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to do something special, like I said, I just came from Texas. I did the Lone Star State School Counselor Conference there, and I had many counselors come up to me and ask me if we could, if I could partner with their school district and do an activity with them. I love doing those things. That's what we love to do. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any thoughts on something that you'd like to do in your school district. Thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with me. I know you're busy people, so thank you so much for that. And I wish you the best of luck for the rest of your school year. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Coyle. We are now going to open this up for the Q&A portion of our presentation. I'm also throwing up a poll question. If you would like somebody to contact you about presenting to your students similar information that we went over today with Dr. Coyle on STEM careers and more information on career and technical education and Universal Technical Institute, please indicate so on the poll so that we know who to reach out to. All right, Dr. Coyle, now this person wants to know about the FAFSA. Can students apply for a federal financial aid in order to attend UTI?
Absolutely. We are Title IV funded. So we do require the FAFSA to see if you qualify for financial aid. Then when you get your results back, then we'll have a financial aid advisor that will work with the student and their family to show them all the other resources they have available. We'll figure in if they got scholarships from Skills USA or from FFA, or if they got a grant of some kind or whatever. We try to figure all that in too, so we can show them what kind of a financial package that they have, so they can make their education more affordable.
Dr. Coyle, this is Bob coming back in. Got the next question to do with cost and program comparisons with traditional community colleges or technical colleges. I think the caller is interested in what's the ROI, or what's the difference between the two? What's the UTI advantage?
Well, you're right, Bob. We get that question all the time, and I love addressing it because, oftentimes they think, well, gosh, UTI, they're no different than the community college or anything like that. No, that's not true. There's a lot of difference between them. We're different. It doesn't mean one is better than the other. It just means we're different. We fit a different student's mode depending upon what they're looking for. I like to point out three things. Number one is the length of time you're going to be in the program. In the community college, you're going to be there 2 to 3 years. I mean, that's it. You're going to be there that long. At UTI, you're going to be there 9 to 17 months. We get in, get out, and get them employed. So that's one huge difference. Second one is the manufacturer-specific training. Yes, I know there are community colleges that have relationships with maybe 1 or 2 manufacturers, but not 37 like we have. We have a huge number of partners that we work with, so we can help the students to get placed. And so if a student wants to go into working for Lexus or working for GM or Ford, they have the opportunity to do that. And then the third part is the TRIP employer program. I mean, you can't beat that program. As I said, you've got to work hard to get it, but my gosh, the rewards are huge. To get that kind of money to pay off your education, that's great. Who wouldn't want that? But just have to remember, as you said, ROI, the return on investment. You can't just look at the outside and say, well, gosh, this one costs more than this one. You have to look at the whole program and see what you're going to get out of it. That's how you make your decision.
So if, in summary, Steve, this is Bob Martin again. If you've got a highly motivated individual student that knows what they want to do, knows what their career they want to enter, UTI solution is good because they're going to get in, they're going to get out, and they're going to get working, and they're going to in the career that they want to be in, and you're going to have a huge national distribution opportunity for jobs.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like I said. Oftentimes they say, "Oh, yeah, this program is just like another one," and it's just not. What we're offering is exclusive training, manufacturer-specific training to enhance students' ability to get the career that they want.
Okay, so Dr. Coyle, if someone's interested on this call, if someone's interested in talking to UTI, get a UTI rep, what's the best way to do that? Should they contact you? Should they? Should they? How would you do that if you were that?
Well, you can go to the website and you can make an inquiry, say that you're looking for a workshop, you're looking for a tour, something like that. You can do that easily, but if you feel more comfortable, just reach out to me. That's what many counselors do. They just reach out to me direct. You got my email address, and so I can make that happen for you.
Well, before we close, let me go through a couple of logistical issues for our audience. First of all, the Imagine America Foundation has recorded this session, and we'll be forwarding that recording to all registrants. Second, we're going to be taking The foundation will be taking this session and putting it on our website, www.imagine-america.org, with very specific download instructions. Really encourage you to go back and listen to it again. You can always pick up something that maybe you didn't get the first time through it. It's always great to go back. And then third, my colleague, Lee Doubleday, is going to be doing a survey of all the registrants so that we get an idea of what you thought of today's program, if there's any feedback on that, and more importantly, are the things that other programs, other issues you think we should be talking about as it relates to STEM. Before closing, we want to thank our participants, our educator participants, for taking time out of their very busy schedules to join us today. We know that you've got a number of competitive demands on your time, and really appreciate you carving out, spending a little bit of time with us today, listening to the presentation. Also, we want to thank Dr. Coyle for sharing with us today's presentation, and encourage each and every one of you to contact him directly relative to questions on this presentation, STEM careers, Universal Technical Institute, or just general career and technical education. So on behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Lee Doubleday and myself, let me thank you for attending, and goodbye.